Hey guys, Sean Terry, how you doing? So, did you know that skydiving is almost exactly like wholesaling houses, or at least getting started or doing the business? Now, I don't know if you've been skydiving before, but if you picture skydiving, think about this. You go up in this plane, you go 10,000 feet, they open this door, and you're standing on the edge and you're looking out over the earth, right? The wind is blowing in your face. You have a pack on and you have a choice. Either A, you can jump solo, or B, you can jump tandem. So if you jump solo, there is risk. You got to figure out how to pull the chute. You got to know when you have to pull the chute. You got to know, exactly how to hold your hands. You got to be able to understand what you're doing and be able to have that experience, because if you don't know exactly what you're doing, then there is business death. There is death at the end. You're like splat, right? Which is terrible. So the bottom line is that's exactly the way it is if you attempt to do the business solo. And you jump out of the plane, you jump in the wholesaling, and you start making calls, you start talking to sellers, you send some texts, you make some cold calls, you talk to some for sale by owners, but you don't know what to offer. You don't know how to get the property sold. You sign a legal binding contract, right? Are you able to buy the house? How do you close on the house? How do you facilitate with the title company to get the transaction closed? All that is critically important to make sure that you have a successful landing. So choice one is you can jump out of the plane and do it yourself. You can start your wholesaling business or do your wholesaling business, and you can try to figure out yourself by going through countless YouTube videos, to maybe reading books, maybe seeking advice from meetups in your local market. So that's one way to attempt to do it. The other way is to go tandem. Now, imagine the confidence doing this tandem, jumping out of the plane tandem, or doing the business tandem with somebody else. So now you're on the edge. Now you're tandem. You got someone on the back with you. You jump, and they're talking in your ear the whole time. Right? What's going on? How to hold your hands, how to move around, right? How to be able to know when to pull the chute, where the actual ring is to pull the chute. And you have someone there guiding you through something as crazy as jumping out of the plane. So then you have a soft landing. So it's almost like that. So imagine doing your wholesaling business where you actually have someone that you can lean on that's been doing it for years and years and years, runs a current successful business, and has a team of people that you get to rely on to be able to go out there and crush it in this business. So with that, you have a choice. Now, you might have already tried to do the business tandem and you're getting subpar results, or it's maybe not working for you. You have questions that aren't answered, or you might have attempted to try some other programs, other coaching programs or educational courses or this, that, and the other, and it didn't really get you to where you want to be. Well, I can tell you that first off, I'm going to introduce you to Syndicate 9. Syndicate 9 is a mastermind, and under the Syndicate 9 umbrella, there are different levels that you can basically start with and ascend depending on where you are in your business. Now, first off, I can tell you, Syndicate 9, and this is one of my favorite books. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Think and Grow Rich. Syndicate 9 is basically the 9th principle of this book, which is mastermind. So Syndicate 9 mastermind is the 9th principle, which is mastermind. And mastermind is one of the key principles of success that Napoleon Hill documented in his book here. And to be able to mastermind with people that have already been there, done that. They've jumped from the plane. They've done a deal. So under the Syndicate 9 umbrella, we have deal syndicate, we have six-figure syndicate, and we have seven-figure syndicate. So let me explain each one. I'm actually going to let you listen to a couple people that actually have been in each one of these segments, and you can see what their results are instead of me just talking about it. And their stories of what happened to them are absolutely astonishing. So first off, we have deal syndicate, right? Deal syndicate is someone that's brand new. You're just getting started. You haven't got your first check yet. Now, I have a passion, and one of my major passions is that helping people get their first check. That's one of my passions, because I remember when I got my first check, $11,008 in May of 2003. That changed everything for me, changed everything. And it's literally that point changed the entire trajectory of my life. And I was so excited. I was elated. I was like, oh my gosh, now I knew that I had a vehicle that could get me out of where I was, because I got that first deal done. And if you do one, you can do another one. And you can rinse and repeat and do it over and over and over and over again if you have the correct systems in place. So my mission and passion is helping people that are brand new, you're getting started, and help them get their first check. And in Deal Syndicate, that's what we do. Now, you either come to my office or we work in a hotel. We do every other quarter, and you work with me and my team for 2 days, and we work with you to get your first check, right? My team brings all the leads. And what we do is we teach you and give you scripts on talking to sellers, making offers, comping properties, the bigger picture of the business of what we're creating, the systems in place that we need from the CRM, how to manage all your leads, from the marketing aspect, from the free aspects to generate leads. And you know what the amazing thing is? This is the coolest part, is that you get to earn while you learn. Meaning, for an example, we have a deal that's closing actually today. And Alex is part of our group, part of the deal syndicate, came to our office, called our leads, worked with Gia to get a deal under contract that we're closing today. And we're sending him a $4,300 and I think it's like $70, wire because of that deal. $4,000. That's his first check that he's getting, and we helped him do it. And it's so exciting. I can't wait to interview him and talk about that process and what it sounded like, what it did for him after he gets that check. But that's what gets to happen for you. You get to come here, you get to work our leads, you get to talk to sellers, overcome objections, understand what it's like, get over that fear so you can go out and get your first deal. That is Deal Syndicate. That's for people that are brand new. And there's nothing like it in the industry where you get to work directly with us to go out there and crush it. And it's all about wholesaling houses, not real estate investing, where there's tons of, there's like apartment investing and, and lending and, fix and flipping properties and, buying small apartment complexes and land type of stuff. It's not all these different things. It's one specific thing, which is wholesaling houses. That's Deal Syndicate. All right. Now you got to hear some couple people, that their experience with Deal Syndicate and what has happened to them in their lives. I told you about Alex, but you got to hear some from a couple other people, and you're going to hear the stories. It's absolutely amazing. So check those out right now.
I feel the event has been just phenomenal. I'm absolutely impressed with Sean's group, with with the way he has laid it out for us, the attention to detail, and the ability of the group to really zero in on what my needs were, what my strengths and weaknesses are, and help me sort of gird that and bolster that up and give me some real cause for excitement going home. So if you're asking me, was this worth it? Absolutely. I would recommend it to anyone who's serious about learning how to wholesale.
I would say the biggest part is just being able to work with the team, and my biggest takeaway is, I would say, just the connection with everybody. I mean, to be able to see, different people from different parts of the world, it's so crazy, because it's not just you thinking, sitting in front of a computer doing this and you're like, is this going to work? now you're sitting in a room full of people and everybody's trying to do the same thing that you're doing, and everybody's on the same page, everybody's at the same, level, and you're learning together.
He just primarily addressed what are our primary obstacles that are blocking us, or our areas that we need more clarity on. And every single thing that everybody wrote down, he touched base on every single one in great depths. So that, one, I learned from others. Two, I've networked with all these guys. I got their numbers. And three, again, the one-on-one that he did with me personally, just kind of digging through everything I'm doing, which is now going to be hopefully narrowed in, less cost and more revenue. So what a win-win and a blessing for me.
All right, weren't those incredible stories? All right, now let's talk about six-figure syndicate. Now, six-figure syndicate, you have to qualify for. It's the next level. You have to do a minimum right now, $50,000 to $100,000 in revenue to get in the room and be able to do presentations and stuff like that in six-figure syndicate. Now, what is six-figure syndicate, and who is it for? First off, who is it for? It's for someone who is a solopreneur. You know how to do deals, you've done deals, you understand the process of doing deals. So you've done multiple deals if you've done $50,000 to $100,000 in revenue. So, but you are a solopreneur, you want to scale, but you really don't know the components of scaling. And then this is absolutely for you. So you're doing everything yourself. You're taking all the phone calls. You're working maybe 6-7 days a week. You're handling all the transactions. So you're a transaction coordinator. You're a dispo, right? You're having to sell the properties, list the properties on the MLS, take all the inbound calls for the showing, deal with the contracts coming in, be able to read the contracts and be able to sign them, get them, open up escrow, with the property. You're handling all the marketing. So you have leads coming in so you can able to talk to the sellers and be able to make offers and get contracts. So you're doing all of these different type of things, to do maybe one, maybe two deals a month, maybe, a couple deals every, couple months. And you're making progress, but you don't have a team where now you can focus only what you're good on. Now, to get from point A, where you are, to point B, we have to build a structure. And that structure, first off, is we have to have a blueprint of what we're building. If we're going to build a house, it starts with a blueprint. So the blueprint is an organizational chart of exactly what you're going to build. And on that organizational chart, you're going to have a CEO, which is going to be you. You're going to have a COO, right? You're going to have a CFO. COO is someone that, basically manages the whole entire team and gets them to do what they're supposed to do. CFO manages all the books and the money, all the KPIs and stuff like that. And then you're going to have a sales manager and then a sales team and then a dispo manager and a dispo team. And that whole organizational chart can be built out and your name is on everything initially. So then what we got to do is we got to learn how to hire. We start hiring. You got to figure out what a comp plan is. You got to be able to pay them correctly. You got to figure out who you're going to hire first. You got to figure out how to hire the right people. There's a process in doing that. So now you start filling in all these boxes with other people. Now, imagine if all the acquisitions was off your plate. Imagine if dispositions was off your plate. Imagine if transaction coordination was off your plate. Imagine if all the P&Ls and the books and the reporting and the numbers was off your plate. And all you did was stay focused on marketing. Imagine marketing was off your plate. And now you just worked on hiring people, finding rock star talent, and helping the company direct and make good business decisions, the budgets on how the money's spent. That's pretty much what I do. I manage the marketing, right? Because I have my hand in that and I love doing that. And I'm good at that. And I manage the direction of the company, our budgets, our KPIs, where we need to be to get us to the next level. And I'm intricately involved in the hiring process, right? So as someone does all the basically sorting through the people and then brings me the top talent, and then I'll sit down with that talent, determine if we're going to hire them or not. So that's my role in a multi-million dollar wholesaling operation with an entire team. But it all started with me, and then I built out that team. So with that, you have to have, what's called a scorecard. And a scorecard are actually numbers that you track to give you the insight of where you are, right? And then after you have that, you have to have, be able to scale the business through strategic meetings. And you have monthly meetings. I mean, we have weekly meetings, monthly meetings, quarterly meetings, annual meetings. And those strategic meetings have certain agendas, and that will create the traction in your business as you hire and you bring people in your organization. There's a lot of different things you'll learn through the entire process, but doing that is a blast to build, and it creates freedom. So now, guess what? For years, I've been going to Southern California, hanging out on the beach. Had a beach house out in California, sold it a couple of years ago, but I'm going out for a month. We rent this huge house out in the golf course, out on the beach out there. And we're hanging out there for an entire month. And I have my entire team. They'll be doing deals. I'll be getting wires. Deals will be getting done. And I'm not going to answer a call from a seller. I'm not going to talk to a buyer. And guess what? The whole business gets done without me. So here's the question to you. If you leave for a month, what happens to your business? Right. And if you're going to say, listen, nothing would get done, then you don't have a business, you have a job. A business is something that creates revenue with or without you. Okay. And that's what a business is. So in Six Figure Syndicate, we teach exactly through a mastermind style business where we show people exactly what to do. And each individual person does a presentation. We've got people in there doing $100,000 a year up to millions and millions of dollars a year, and they're presenting their business. We have one guy, actually Jacob, in there who did a presentation. He did well over $1 million, and he's running his business at 74% margin. That means for every $1 million he does, he keeps $740,000 profit to the bottom line. That is what we're in business for. So you got to hear some people from the Six Figure Syndicate. You're absolutely going to love it. Here's some people right now.
And like for me, it's been a game changer. Even though it's just like my first time here, it's been a game changer. My mind is like blown. I have to like take time for myself to actually, process all the new ideas and stuff that I'm definitely going to use. So it's been a phenomenal game, because iron sharpen iron, and you surround yourself with the right people, so you can definitely make it that way. And Sean and his team and the processes and like the spreadsheets and they go like literally right now, they went through our issues and make sure we got everything.
One of the best parts of a mastermind is coming together as a group, because a lot of us have had some of the same problems in the past. So by being able to get together and talk about those, we can hopefully help people avoid some of the mistakes that like myself and Sean have made in the past, and hopefully drive that person to a higher revenue at a much faster pace than we did when we were growing our business.
I hit a ceiling of $150,000 a year for several years. And then I come down here and I get involved with the group with Sean and the mastermind, and it jumps to 450, and I'm adding employees, and it's crazy to think that, wow, I'm going to be reaching millions next year. So, just being around a family environment and being around people that you can help as well as them helping you, it's been incredible. I mean, Scott, the people that he brings in to help out, it's exciting, and it's fresh. It's new each time, so you're not doing the same exact thing over and over. You're hearing different people share their stories, and it impacts you personally as well as professionally.
Did a wholesale on it. It took about 3-4 months, and we ended up with $1.26 million net profit. Yeah. I would say that this deal wouldn't happen if we weren't here. Exactly. I told Sean that, all the things that we learned from him, his guidance, his help, his support from him, from Scott, from all the people in this group, it was amazing. He gave us the confidence and the guidance that we needed to get this one done. And I'm like 100% sure if we weren't part of this group, I wouldn't have that confidence to go after this deal.
And also we got so much support from others for the previous events, and that helps a lot.
Exactly. We had a lot of issue on this deal. We shared it with this group. We get a lot of feedbacks from the group, how we fix the issues. We go after it, get it done.
Everything that I do now, my entire business, is the complete opposite of where it was 6 months ago before I was in this. I mean, adapting to the market, the retail buyer program, the virtual agents, hiring, scaling, PPC, national model, all of it. So it's, I mean, I was the guy that was like, well, it's kind of expensive. I don't know if I can really afford to pay this for this. But in reality, you're losing so much money not being in a mastermind like this that you need to just go ahead, even if it's kind of running you slim. You're going to learn so much more in here than you could ever do on your own. And so you might as well just bite the bullet now and get ahead of the curve.
Invest in yourself, take a chance, believe in yourself.
All right, those were some incredible stories. So here's the thing. It's by application only. We want to make sure you are right for the right position. 7-Figure Syndicate will be launched soon. We don't have a launch date yet, so don't ask about that. We're going to launch that soon. And we'll make sure all the members know. All the members obviously have first dibs on the 7-Figure Syndicate. 7-Figure Syndicate's great because we will be meeting in exotic locations. Now, Deal Syndicate, they meet every quarter. 6-Figure Syndicate, they meet every single quarter. I do monthly calls for them for 6-Figure Syndicate, which is awesome. So the bottom line is we keep you engaged. What's going on? We have an incredible Discord channel with everybody sharing information, asking questions, talking about the business, sharing deals and stuff, and it's really, really cool. So if you want to learn more, if you want to apply, it's incredibly affordable. We make it as affordable as possible for people to get started. So money isn't an objection to get started. Fill out the application below so you can learn more about what we do. And we want to see if you're a right fit. But if you're serious about your business, you're serious about getting to the next level. We've had people that start in Deal Syndicate that don't know anything about the business, and then they ascend up to 6-Figure Syndicate, and now they're killing it, right? And now, guess what? Eventually, they'll be able to ascend to 7-Figure Syndicate. So the bottom line is we're here to be in tandem with you for your growth. So now in life, in business, when you're sitting on the edge and you got to jump out of the plane, you can have confidence that we're going to be there with you and we're going to help you go out there and crush this business and have a soft landing to your success. And you're able to survive and you're not a statistic. 72% of the people that get started in this business, they get started, they do it alone. They try to figure it out. They just search through YouTube information to try to figure this information out. And guess what happens? They end up quitting and then going back to their $35, $40, $50, $60,000 a year job and working for the next, till 65, 70 or whatever happens, The bottom line is you don't want to do that. You want to be able to build this business. This is the best, most profitable business. And right now, at this moment in time, with everything going on in the world, this is the best time to get started. I can tell you that right now. There are more sellers right now inundating us with selling their properties at a discount price than I've ever seen before. So now is the time to get started. Fill out the application, and I can't wait to meet you at the next event. Take care, and God bless.